why do you say that consent doesn't exist in marriage?
Because when you say I do, you are committing to a lifetime of sex. People got obviously very upset when I said that. And obviously I'm not talking about marriages or marriages, but I am saying that is the oxygen of your marriage. And what often happens is women pop out 1 or 2 kids, and after that, they're done with sex. The reality is that in order for intimacy to be strong and thriving in a marriage, we have to do what God commands us to do, right? So the wife must respect and submit to her husband. And if the husband does not feel respected, he's not going to want to be intimate with his wife. If the wife is not feeling loved and cherished by her husband, she's not going to want to be intimate with her husband. There is also this weaponization of that women have towards men. You didn't unload the dishwasher, I'm not going to have sex with you. That is manipulation.
There's a book that I have right next to me called St. John Chrysostom on Marriage and Family Life. And he was basically a Orthodox monk who left the monastic life, I believe, at one point. And he was very anti-marriage. He was always living a celibate life. And his whole thing was be celibate and give your whole life to God, right? He came around to it and decided to promote marriage. He was like, actually, this is a very important institution. It's a sacrament from God. It's a gift from God. And like what you said about St. Paul, the men burn with it, get married so that the lustful desires can be extinguished through your wife. And also, it's not just for the husband, it's for the wife. Men are not allowed to abstain from as well. Many wives do when they refuse their husbands. They commit a sin that outweighs the righteousness of their abstinence. They are responsible for their husband's licentiousness and the broken homes that result. So he's saying that if you're trying to abstain from sex for whatever reason, you want to devote a week to abstinence because you think that's gonna do something with your relationship with God. He's saying it's actually a bigger sin to abstain without your husband's permission than it is for you to not abstain at all. And you're the problem if he chooses to cheat. You drove him to it because you didn't fulfill his desires.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So you're saying people only have a problem with me not being allowed to do certain things by my husband unless it's something that's obviously beneficial. Like if I say I'm not allowed to open my own doors because my husband is going to open my doors for me, people will be like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. If I say my husband doesn't allow me to go to the gas station at night at 11 p.m. to pump gas, I should have gotten it earlier in the day or wait till the next morning or have him come and pump my gas at night. People are like, well, yeah, duh, that's obvious. However, if I say my husband won't allow me to go to the gym wearing up the butt scrunch leggings and a sports bra, people are like, why would you let him tell you what to do? Truth of the matter, it's not the word allow that people are offended by. It's my husband won't allow me to. It's the husband part. They don't see their husbands as authorities. Usually they don't have a husband. But they don't see husbands in general as authority over their wife or leader, protector, provider, none of that.
Why is that every time a man is asked to prioritize his partner, it suddenly turns into, oh, so you want me to abandon my parents? Like, where did that even come from? Prioritizing your partner is not the same as abandoning your parents. But in South Asian families, it's treated like a crime. And that's because we were never taught healthy boundaries. We were raised in dependency, parents relying fully on kids, kids relying fully on parents. So when marriage happens, of course parents feel abandoned. And the son feels guilty, like choosing his wife means betraying his parents. But guilt isn't love. That's just lack of boundaries. Now notice the difference. Parents who have their own purpose and independence, they don't feel abandoned. They actually celebrate when their kids get married because they know priorities are supposed to shift. Think about it. When a daughter marries, everyone expects her to focus on her husband and household. No one questions it. But when it comes to sons, suddenly it's a problem. The guilt trips, the emotional blackmail, it shows how much our culture struggles with boundaries and gender bias. And this happens because most sons live with their parents their whole life, even after marriage. That makes it hard for both the son and the parents to imagine a life without each other. So the son ends up operating from guilt. But guys who move out early, whether it's for work or studies, they build natural boundaries. They learn privacy, individuality, decision making. And that doesn't mean they love their parents less. It just means they're not dependent. Prioritizing your partner doesn't mean your parents come second. It just means your marriage is your foundation. And if that foundation is insecure, everything else eventually falls apart. Because if your partner doesn't feel chosen, they start feeling unseen, like they're competing with their family. That turns into resentment, mistrust, emotional distance. And once the marriage cracks, even your bond with your parents suffer. Here's a screenshot of one of my followers sharing his views on this. He told me this is exactly what happened in his family. And honestly, this is something I deal with in my sessions with almost every other couple. It is what happens when boundaries are missing. So when I say anchor your marriage, I mean secure it first, so every other relationship in your life can stay healthy. The problem is people villainize the word priority as if priority automatically means neglect. It doesn't. Prioritizing your partner just means making decisions with them, building life with them, considering them first in the picture you're creating together. And boundaries, they're not disrespect. They're balance. You can love and respect your parents and still not let them control your marriage or your peace. That's why I always say before marriage, invest in your parents' independence. Encourage them to have purpose, joy, hobbies, a life beyond just their kids. Because if their only source of happiness is you, of course they're going to feel abandoned once you prioritize your partner. So no, men don't feel sandwiched because of marriage. They feel sandwiched because boundaries were never built in the first place. And if you don't know how to build them, you know who to ask.
Any God who will lead me through my husband, I don't follow. Yeah, there are parts of the Bible I disagree with to the core. I do not see my husband as leader. He's a man who poops and pees, if he exists even. There is no leader in the marriage. Once there is a leader in something, there is no equality. And there is no, and mind you, they would twist doctrines. They would twist it, they would twist it, turn it, twist it, so that you don't feel unequal to a man, but you are. Once there is a leader, there is no longer equality. And you see that aspect of Christian marriage, I reject it. In fact, I reject the hierarchy in a Christian marriage. There is no hierarchy because there's no man above me. Well, except God. That my husband is my equal. We stand beside each other as equals in every sense, even in a spiritual sense. He will never have authority over me. Listen, I don't expect my husband to lead me because I myself am a complete, competent human being. I have a calling, I have thoughts, I have processes. He can lead his life, but he's not leading anybody. He's not leading me. He can influence our children because, even me, we will both as parents influence our children to be good people. But that is as far as his influence goes. Once it comes to me, there is no influence here. I stand as an independent being, and my autonomy will not be stolen from me in the form of submission.
My husband decided to get someone pregnant. I decided to divorce and let him have her. Was I wrong to bust all in his face the night before their wedding?
When you say bust, we mean...
Yes, you know
just... Hold on, time out.
What kind of bust? Like...
Bust. Spit splash.
Here's the hard part about the whole situation. Whenever you in a situation where you could one-up somebody like, yeah, that's why I busted in his face the day before the wedding, it ain't gonna stop him from marrying her, though.
Oh, no. It didn't stop him from cheating throughout their marriage.
But what should have stopped you from giving him access to your sweet nectars, my love? A man that play with me can't have a conversation with me, let alone taste anything around these parts. I need you to have tossing and turning nights remembering what I taste like because you'll never taste it again. And you let him play with you, disrespect your marriage, leave you, have a child, get engaged, get married to the side chick and still have access to you. You should have been such a distant memory to him that it was tearing him up, or you don't even care what it's doing to him because you done moved on so much with your life. I think that whatever you was hoping to achieve by, yeah, that's why I on your face, what does that mean for somebody that likes to eat? He had a blast.
I don't think it was about him. I think it was just closure for her to be able to be like, he was up in this the night before his wedding.
That's a nice trophy in your collection.
But what happens when we sit in that spirit of revenge, what does it do for you if he still got married? You sitting there 20 years later like, yeah, I did this. He still got married. And until we sit in our truth and acknowledge what really happened, it wasn't just as simple as a lick back, right? Because this was your husband first. Your husband broke up your marriage by cheating on you, got someone else pregnant, and instead of him deciding, I'm going to fight for my wife, he accepted divorce, married the other woman. So whatever we say surrounding that, we could make all of the jokes of, oh yeah, I just wanted the revenge, but it was a piece of you that wanted a lick back ain't gonna do what you was really looking for.
She got a lick back.
Can I add something?
And thinking about the conversation that they're saying, well, it's a nice trophy in a collection. Yeah, maybe, but like she said, he had a blast. It's like those skits that they have where the woman was like, oh, well, let's see how it feels. You know, let's see how it feels when I treat a man like he treats me. You know, when I let him come over, I let him hit, and then I cook him breakfast or something like that, and I send him on back out to the road or whatever. Let's see how he feels. Feel great. You fed me. You put it on me. No commitment. I had a blast. I don't have to worry about that because that's what that man was looking for. So you actually gave him what he was looking for. I get to do it. And number one, number two, she's all in her emotions, and I understand that. But with an emotional state like that, who's to say that he don't come sweet talk her? Because he stayed with her and she found out you cheating, you got a baby on me, I'm going to go ahead and divorce you out of spite. I'm really upset. Right? If you would have come begging and all that, no, I got to stand on my principle. But you still all in your emotions. So if he were to come back in the future and it's been a long time, you can't really trust no other men around your body, and you want him to do what he used to do to you, well, you know, it's all right, but this is what we gonna keep. We ain't gonna do all of that, and you can't pull my hair and all that stuff, but you can start here and eat that. And he started eating it, and he started doing a good job. Ooh, girl, it's gonna be like a freaking Tyler Perry movie, bro. A freaking Tyler Perry show. Oh, girl, you know, and next day you're gonna be talking about it at work. Oh, he got all up in it, and you know, one thing led to another, and I ain't even see him doing that to me and all that other stuff. Exactly, bro. One thing gonna lead to another, and that man gonna end up knocking you down. He gonna end up doing more to you, and that's gonna be on you. And then it's gonna be a constant, ongoing, and recurring thing, because you don't know how to get out of your feelings. You'll never distance yourself from him, and then you're gonna be mad and upset because men aren't taking you seriously. You don't take yourself seriously.
Women think the relationship is all about them. They do. Everything is centered around what she wants. And if that's fine, in her mind, everything is cool. And she does not care what the man is going through. She don't care what his challenges are, or any of those things. So what ends up happening, the male believes that he keeps the marriage together because if he goes to cheat or whatever, like those 41 shades, for different reasons, they left you with the marriage because the marriage was all you wanted. You didn't actually want the man. You wanted the marriage. The fairy tale. You wanted the fairy tale. So the man feels that he gave you what you wanted. You wanted the marriage. You wanted the money. You wanted the kids. You wanted all of this crap. And never consider what he's mentally going through. Never considers what he invests into the relationship. A lot of men deal with this. And so what they end up doing is getting things outside of the relationship. And what? The woman is still mad.
I, 28 female, made a joke with my husband, 29 male, and it's costing me my marriage with a man I truly love. My husband and I have been married for 4 years now. I truly do love him. I can't see a life without him. I took some stupid advice from some of my girlfriends regarding a joke that they have done with their husbands. The joke is basically telling your partner that you want a divorce. I never wanted to do it and thought it was cruel to do, especially to someone you love. Stupidly, I did it last week, and my husband's reaction wasn't what I thought it would be. I honestly thought that he would try and talk to me or beg or make suggestions like my friends' partners had done, but he didn't. We had dinner and we were watching a movie when I told him, I'm not happy anymore, and I think we should get a divorce. He looked at me for a couple of seconds, and I swear, it looked like something broke in his eyes. Came out with a bag and walked out of the house without saying a word to me. I told him it was just a joke, but he basically just brushed me off and walked out.
You see, there's some trends I can't participate in, and it's because my husband ain't y'all's husband. My husband don't act like y'all's husband. So there's this trend going around where the groom gets pictures of his wife in like this cute little lingerie or whatever, and he gets it from the different bridesmaids and people throughout their wedding reception, right? And while that's like cute, for those, my husband don't play that. My husband don't play that because the first question he's going to ask is who took the picture. And when I can't give him a response as to who took the picture, then we're going to have a problem, because he's going to know why I was dressing like that in front of the man if the man took the picture. And why did I feel so comfortable? Why didn't I just let him take the picture? Because that makes the most logical sense. If I wanted to take those kind of risque pictures, why not just ask him to take the pictures? My husband ain't y'all's husband. I can't do those things.
What's your plan when men start walking away from marriage? What's your plan?
So, do men or women get a raw deal from marriage? Because you just said men walking away from marriage. So, is he culpable for doing that?
What is your plan when men walk away from marriage?
Is he responsible for walking away from a marriage?
What is
or
your
is
plan?
he just never guilty of anything?
My point is the very microphone you're using was built by men. The building was built by men. And there's no gratitude or appreciation. You just tell them they're not doing enough.
Got me. You got me. Yep.
They told me not to make his lunch. Oh, okay. They told me not to fold his laundry. Yeah. They told me not to pay for dates. Okay. Take me through that.
Listen, baby, I'm going to give an opinion that's going to probably be unpopular amongst y'all, okay? Because I know how y'all like to tussle. Do what works for the man that you're with. Sis did what worked for the man that she was with. For those of you who are new here, I'm a certified life coach. I specialize in love and relationships, self-development, and finances, and I have been doing so for close to a decade. And something I can tell you as someone that has coached dozens of couples, probably coming up on 100 at this point. If you want to be a wife, you have to, one, want to be a wife. What does that mean? You have to want the marriage, not the wedding, okay? Number two, if you want to be a wife, you within yourself have to be satisfied with whom you are. If you are not satisfied with whom you are, that man that you're dealing with is not going to be satisfied with who you are. And number three, if you want to be a wife, you have to cater to the man in the way that he receives it. Not every single man is going to want you to cook and clean. Because baby, some of them could probably cook and clean better than you. Some of them probably enjoy it more than you do. Not every man is going to want you to wash and fold his clothes. Why? Because maybe he likes to take his clothes to the dry cleaners. Not every single man is going to want to portray the exact resemblance of a traditional role. Now, if you have one that does, cool. Follow what sis says. Don't listen to what anyone says on the internet. But if it's not those things, you have to figure out what is it that he wants. And I'm only speaking to the women who have the desire to be married, because baby, I don't have time for the conversation about what women should do and don't be male centered. First and foremost, if you want a husband, you have to center the man, not men, but the man. More importantly, if you want a husband, you have to center yourself. And a lot of y'all don't know how to do that. Because either you get too caught up in one way or the other. You get caught up in the gender roles, like overly doing the gender roles, or you get caught up in not doing anything at all because you don't feel like you have to, because he's not your husband and he will never be your husband because you do not know how to cater to his needs. But for those of you who want to first and foremost learn yourself and then learn how to cater to the man that you want, the link is in my bio. I have how to date sessions. I have one-on-one sessions. Let's work on that. If that's not really within your budget right now, sign up for the subscription. You can ask questions. We do lives. You get discounts on my services and much more. Stay safe.
Marriage, even worth it? It's not. At some point, you're going to realize that it's always best to just be alone. Because I've been married for about 7 years, and I don't even know if this is worth it.
After speaking to thousands of people at the end of their marriage and I asked them why their divorce ended, I get a lot of things. Vices, not being seen, not being heard, money, debt, all these things. So you kind of get an idea of what people are going to say. I'm watching this video and I'm thinking I know what she's going to say, but I hear the opposite. And I'm very confused on why she's not happy with her marriage. Check this out.
And I have a good man. I do. And that's not the point. You really do lose yourself. You lose your sense of individuality, your sense of peace. And this could be even to a good man. Like, you're gonna lose something, and I don't think it's worth it.
And then she says that, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe she's being smothered, maybe there's kids, maybe she's got a special needs kid where she has no time to herself, she doesn't have time to express herself, do her own thing. But her profile is titled, Diary of a Happy Black Woman, Young, Child-Free, and Selfish. So, she is going out, she's doing things. They travel, they go to expensive restaurants, they're experiencing new things.
In my life as a child-free, selfish, beautiful young woman.
So I'm confused. I'm very confused.
Always had a dream of like getting out of my hometown, like city, and moving on, like moving forward, like life is supposed to be experience. Like we're supposed to be doing new things and traveling and
But you are.
and all that, and I do at some point. Like I don't know if I want to continue doing this every single day of my life. Like always checking in with someone, always having to consider their feelings, always.
That's marriage.
It's always somebody else. You're never alone.
That's always having to check in on somebody and always having to consider other people's feelings. I mean, that is a marriage, in my opinion. That's a general relationship. I'm starting to get an idea on where this is all stemming from and why she's unhappy. I'm going to save that to the end of the video, but it's becoming clear.
I really want girls to know, like, even if it's absolutely worth it, I don't think it is. Even if you found the most perfect man, it's not. I'm sad with a great man. Maybe it's just like not my personality. And like, I know girls are out there that like dying for like a relationship like mine. Like it can scare me, but like, it's like imagine living a fairy tale and it's nothing like.
Well, for one, there's a couple of things here. You know, going back to kind of the clip where Pearl was going back and forth with Anna, you know, you kind of look at that and you really see Anna has good sense. She just don't want to answer the question. That's really all it is. She's just debating in such a way to where she really don't have to answer your questions. And that's what politicians do. You know, Anna's acting like a politician, honestly and truly. That's all it is. Number one. Number two, you look at the video that Nicole is talking about and she's saying, be whatever your man wants you to be. You know, that man might be able to cook and clean better than you. So you need to figure out what that man wants you to do. And that's the problem that most modern women in relationships have. They don't want to be anything to a man. It's the man that needs to be anything and everything to me. That's the problem. That's the whole entire issue. I'm not doing nothing for a man. I'm not cooking. I'm not cleaning. I'm glad he can cook and clean because I wasn't going to do it. Even if I could, I'm not going to do it. He need me to wash his laundry. I'm not going to do that. I wasn't going to do it even if I could. I'm not going to sweep. I'm not going to mop. I'm not going to do anything for the man. The man needs to figure out how to be a help to me.
My husband is going to make burgers tonight for dinner. And I was like, what are you making with the burgers? And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, what are you making with the burgers? Is it a burger and fries? Are you making a salad to go with it? Is there fruit on the side? What's the side dish? And he's like, I'm not making a side dish. How many of your husbands do that when they make dinner? Because every time my husband makes dinner, it's just a burger on a plate, a piece of chicken on a plate. I love that I have a domesticated husband who will make dinner, but he has literally served us just a single chicken breast on a plate.
Most likely that man was either raised by a single father, or he was single himself for a while, or he was raised by a mom that really pushed veggies on him and he hated every second of it. Honestly, a lot of sides are just fillers, especially French fries. Like, you might as well just eat another burger rather than fries. I've actually done that myself, especially from fast food restaurants where the fries are just not healthy. Also, let's not forget that that burger has veggies on it, plus some cheese for protein potentially. Also, most of you ladies don't have a leg to stand on, because can we talk about girl dinners? Your idea of a meal could be crackers, cheese, maybe some pepperoni with olives and wine. That's it.
What is the difference between a woman that wants to be a wife versus a woman that just wants a husband?
Oh, you know what? I think most of us are bred to just want a husband, whereas to be groomed and trained to be a wife means to understand how to respect masculine energy, how to truly be inside of your feminine, which means trusting the leadership of your partner, because feminine chooses certainty. Feminine doesn't choose flow, because feminine is flow, right? Feminine energy. When we choose to understand that it is our biggest opportunity to seek out the needs of a man without him expressing them, I think a beautiful opportunity for us to empower that man and ride through the storms. I feel like we live in a weak generation where things get hard and people immediately are like, oh, I quit, this is too hard. And that's like, it's never going to hinder you the result you want. If you keep quitting, it's to be groomed as a wife means it's compassion, it's longevity. That's where marriage starts. When you get married, you say, I do, it starts. Whereas other people, it's like when you get married, I made it. No, you didn't make it. You hate that man. You hate that woman. Y'all can't stand each other. You don't care enough to not disrespect each other or call each other out of your own name. You don't care enough to not want to sleep on opposite sides of the bed when there's a problem. You don't care enough to have the hard conversation so that you can move together more powerfully. That's just to have a husband. But when you want to be a wife, things are different, in my opinion.
That's very true.
I was a selfish in my marriage. I've been divorced now almost 4 years, but I was married to my ex-husband 16 years and with him 18 years. And again, I was a selfish. Nothing was ever good enough. I took him for granted. He seriously rolled out the red carpet for me. He was sweet, kind, generous. He told me how much he loved me 5 times a day. He told me how beautiful I was every day. If he'd wake me up in the morning, because he knows I love massages, wake me up rubbing my shoulders. He'd rub my feet every evening while we were watching TV. If I said, for example, oh, I'm craving a Dr. Pepper, he'd be like, okay, let me go to the corner store and get it. He adored me. He was amazing. Like, on paper, it's what every girl wants. Seriously. And yeah, I took it for granted. And now I lost that, right? And I carried a lot of guilt because I caused it. That's my biggest regret in life, is not saving, the whole family aspect. The grass is not always greener on the other side, ladies. It's not, I'm good now. I feel great. And he's super happy with his girlfriend. And honestly, I could not be happier for him, because he deserved to be loved and cared about and respected, as he should have always been. So I'm so happy that he's happy. Anyways, what I'm saying, ladies, the grass is not greener on the other side. If you have a good guy, take care of him. Take care of him. Trust me, there's nothing good out in these streets. He seriously set the bar. He set the bar. And ultimately, what I always wanted, I had all along. So we have good right in front of us, and we don't know how to take care of it.
Some women don't want equality. They want power and control without accountability. Let's do it again. And I don't care how you slice it, playing the victim while being the aggressor is emotional. And I've got news for you. Men don't hate strong women. They don't like women who lack character. What I have found, that women are more respected when you hold yourself accountable. I had to hold myself accountable after my marriage of a 10-year relationship. I've been divorced for 8 years now, separated for 8 years. I had to take accountability for my actions, even though I wasn't the only one or the only reason why we divorced. I had to take accountability in order to fix my toxic traits, to be able to move on in a healthy way. So that way I didn't take that baggage to the next relationship. If you want a good man, be a good woman. I've said this before, but some of you ladies have to ask yourself, well, what are you bringing to the table besides your own expectations? Accountability is not oppression, ladies. And remember, you're never gonna find a king if you're out here acting like a clown.
This is why men do not trust women now. So this is Sarah Stock, a renowned right-wing political commentator, supposed trad wife, devout Catholic, basically everything that a man would want. She had everyone believe she was a virgin, made her partner wait till marriage, and her wedding was even blessed by the Pope. Turns out she wasn't a virgin, was having an affair up until her engagement, and lied to her husband the whole time. She made her husband wait till they were married to have. This is your supposed right-wing, trad, cutesy influencer girl. It's a lie. Do you know how evil it is to lie on this sort of scale, grow your following from basically being a fraud, and deceive your husband like this? These women make me feel physically sick. I'm fed up of these women that lie, deceive and manipulate, because there are a lot of them in the Western world. I jest about the kitchen is calling, but maybe if you were in there, instead of yapping online about how godly you are, you wouldn't be in this predicament. It's a classic case of those who protest too much.
So you're currently married?
Yes.
Question. You're involved in traditional adult content. You do
and you do boy-girl content.
Yes.
So he was fine, though, with you doing porn, OnlyFans,
Yeah, he did it with
whatever?
me.
Oh, he was part of your content.
Mhm.
That's when you started OF then?
Mhm.
Okay. So were you splitting revenue with him, or?
Don't even start me on this. So when we got divorced, I have to pay him alimony, and I'm still paying alimony to this day.
How long do you have to pay him alimony for?
Until November.
So you were the breadwinner in your marriage?
Yes.
How much did you pay him total?
I believe $300,000.
Okay, so that was your first marriage.
Yes.
You're paying your ex-husband how much per month?
$3,321 a month.
And in total, you said it's going to be $300,000.
I
How much
believe
was
so.
How much was the lump sum that you paid him?
$75,000.
Paid him $75K. No kids though, right? You don't have any kids.
Mm-mm.
Okay. And then you're married again.
Yes.
You didn't learn your lesson the first time.
Well, I did a prenup this time.
You got a prenup. So what's the prenup?
That I keep my money.
Facts are, if you can't stand being around the person that you're with, then leave them. But you don't want to leave them because they give you a cushiony life that you know nobody else will be able to provide for you, especially now that you're washed up. So you sit there and deal with it despite the fact that you hate that man until it gets to a point where you divorce him and try to take half of everything he owns, and then you spend the rest of your life being nothing other than a used rag for people to come in. It's actually ironic how much women project because they're the ones that coined the phrase, "Oh, just say you don't love your wife." Oh, just say that you don't want to treat your wife well. When they're the ones that typically don't want to serve their husbands, don't want to treat their husbands well, don't want to respect what their husbands have to say, but expect their husbands to give them everything. If he wanted to, he would, and so would she.
And when you listen to Haley talk, she said, well, I married for 10 years. So she probably got married super young is what it was. Probably got married right around 18, 19, 20, something like that. For 10 years, probably 28. So the last, 8 years I've been, divorced and separated, right? So getting married that young, you probably knuckleheaded in a lot of ways. You probably don't know what you don't know. And then you throw a kid into that, that'll complicate it a little bit because, you pull in one way and the other person's pulling the other way. And so you're like, you have two different mindsets, especially if you guys are always at odds with each other, right? And so you finally separate. But what a lot of modern women do, and what she's saying right now is, you get out of that relationship and you don't take accountability for what you've been saying, what you've been doing, how you've been acting. It's all the man's fault. And so you never really heal. You might be going to therapy and you might be doing a lot of things that, it seems like you're on the healing journey, but you're not really there. You never really arrive. You're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, but you're not really taking the information and applying it. It's like people who go to church, man. I've been a church going member for 50 years, but you still see them kind of acting the same way that they was acting 20 years ago. That's because they haven't really applied anything. It's the same thing if you go to work. Same thing if you're working at a job. Same thing if you calling yourself a rapper or an entrepreneur for the last 20 years, but you ain't made no money. It's probably because you've been doing the same thing over and over again, and you hadn't really changed. You hadn't really kept up with the times, right? That's what a lot of modern women are doing. They're going through the motions. They're arriving and they're right in the right places, but they don't change because they don't think that there's anything that they want to change or they need to change about themselves. Number one. Number two, even if they see, oh, I need to change this, they don't want to do the work to change it. And that's they're not taking they're not taking accountability. So that's what a lot of modern women are arriving at. That's why they can't find anybody to be with them that wants to get with them. That's why you see some of these ladies, even though they have kids, they might stay out of a relationship, and then when they get into one, it goes on to be successful because they've learned, oh, let me back up really quickly. And I say successful relationship because they learned to be accountable.
All right, I'm here with
Aline Ballard.
All right, so we are going to find out if your ideal man exists. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. All right, for sure. What's the minimum income this person has to make for the year?
To be honest, I don't know. I'm not a money person. But you have to at least make money because I do.
Yeah.
But As long as we're doing it together, I don't really.
You got a number though?
220.
220. All right, say that. What is the minimum and maximum age for you?
I'm gonna say like 19, and the maximum. You could be like 25, 26.
Do you care if they're married or single?
You gotta be single. I don't play that married bitch.
I got you. What's the minimum height for you?
Since I'm 6'1", you gotta be 6'3" and above.
6'3" and above? What race do you prefer?
Black.
Black?
You could be light skin, brown skin, dark skin. It don't matter.
The probability for you is 0.0015. Yo, they said on the losing score, you 5 out of 5. All right, I'm here with
Taylor.
We're gonna find out if your ideal man exists.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, for sure. What's the minimum income this person has to make?
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Maybe like 90K.
90K?
Yeah.
Might as well. You want to run into 100? You want to do 100?
Okay, we'll do 100.
We'll do 100.
100K is fair.
What is the minimum and maximum age for you?
34.
34 is the youngest?
The oldest.
The oldest. What's the youngest?
Youngest, 23.
You care if they're married or single?
I absolutely care if they're married. I would prefer single.
What's the minimum height for you?
Like 5'11".
5'11"?
At least, yeah.
I got you. What race do you prefer?
I don't have a preference.
No preference? All right, that's cool.
Black or Hispanic, I guess.
All right, so the probability of you finding your ideal man is 0.65. So that's,
okay.
That's
out of 100?
Out of the whole world, like, yeah, 0.65. They said on the loser score, you're 4 out of 5. That's less than 1% though. So it's not really that good, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was thinking about 65%.
No, 0.65.
That's okay. I'll find them.
You still find them?
He'll find me.
Okay,
Yeah.
for sure.
Why did women contribute more when they weren't working, but contribute less now that they are working?
Forced.
Can you explain?
So I think they were forced. Yeah, I mean, a lot of husbands used to beat their wives if they didn't do what they said, and that was acceptable back then. They couldn't get divorced, and they didn't want to leave their kids with their husband. They could threaten to take everything away from them, and it was harder for women to find jobs back then versus now.
Feminism is great in concept, right? And we love women. We love to protect women. Women should be able to do whatever, like in the sense, but like the feminist mindset has also like damaged relationships and marriages and the dating culture and all of that things.
Am I the
Be careful who you marry, boy. Shit's treacherous out here in these streets. Viewer discretion is advised.
My wife wants me to set a budget for sex as a part of her stay-at-home mom role.
You heard it correctly. She wants to be compensated for having sex with her husband. The sex that they both get something from, by the way. This is arguably one of the most creative tactics I've seen for streetwalker behavior.
I, male 33, am the breadwinner in our family of 4. My wife is a stay-at-home mom, and it's a decision we both agreed on. I take care of everything financially: food, clothes, bills, household needs, etc. Problem is, my wife wants me to set a budget for sex, meaning she wants to get money for it as she considers it a part of her stay-at-home mom duties. I love her.
Who the f*** I be marrying, bro? Like, yo, how? Why? What? You trying to tell me I have to compensate my wife for having sex with me, although she also wants to have this too. And if she doesn't, I also cannot receive it from a third party. This is grade A manipulation at its finest. You are being held captive in your own marriage. And the wildest part about it is you are a provider man. Your production is their livelihood. If you don't produce, they are. No cap, this is grounds for divorce. I will leave her. Me personally, I would leave her.
Her absurd and unreasonable suggestion, now demand, has caused a huge fight between us. She said it is her right, since she'd work all day and take care of the house and kids then. Then she has to stay up at night so we can have sex together, and it's exhausting for her and time-consuming, as she put it.
Exhausting, time-consuming, demands. I don't know if it's just me, but I can't get aroused for a woman that sleeps with me as a task. Like, if you are not as elated as I am to get physical with me, I don't even want it, bro. Keep that to yourself. Because there is no way in hell I am paying my wife to get physical with me in our marriage. Something she agreed to do prior to the compensation.
I'm taking care of my duties as a man. I'm a provider man. I'm taking care of everything. I pay for everything that makes this go around. She contributes her part by being a stay-at-home mom, but that was something we agreed upon. I didn't force her. Woman, your compensation is your bills being paid. If I'm that man, the best I got for you, bro, we would have a conversation. I would say, hey, listen, man, it's either we figure out a way for this to happen, or I am going to outsource. Now, if you're not okay with me outsourcing, I'm gonna have to call it quits. I gotta go my separate way. Because I refuse to be extorted in my own marriage. You got me super up. I don't know how or where the I find these women at, but you know what? I know they ain't gonna listen to me. I'm just a normal guy. Y'all keep the change.
I have heard so many times that the man that really likes you and really wants you and really wants to be in a relationship with you is going to be one that doesn't focus on lust and is really focused on getting to know you emotionally, which sounds great, right? But now I have started to realize that it almost feels so weird after being sexualized for so long as a woman that like someone doesn't just want to, you know. So the fact that someone wants to get to know me emotionally and isn't focused on like the physical aspects or making comments about my body all the time is almost uncomfortable for me, which is something that I feel like I probably heal from. But that is also something that I thought about today that was so interesting. Like, how do you fix that?
Men are being told every day that if they don't have money, they don't have value. But that's not what God says. The world tells men their worth is tied to their paycheck, their bank account, their title, their ability to provide. And honestly, that's a heavy burden to carry, because what happens when the job is lost, when the business struggles, when life doesn't go according to plan? Does that suddenly make a man worthless? According to the world, maybe, but according to God, absolutely not, because God never measured a man's value by his income. He measures character, integrity, faithfulness, the condition of a man's heart. One of the biggest lies society tells men is, you are only as valuable as what you produce. But God says you had value before the promotion, before the success, before the money. You had value because you were created in his image. Now hear me carefully. There's nothing wrong with ambition, nothing wrong with building wealth, but money is a tool. It's not your identity, because some of the strongest men I've ever met weren't the richest. They were the men who kept their faith when life got hard, the men who kept showing up when nobody was watching. So if you're struggling right now, don't let your financial situation define your worth. God decided your value long before you ever made your first dollar.
We're doing the proper way. You should hug your friend's girl, or how your girl should hug your friends. So when I hug my wife, meat to stomach, you know what I'm saying? We hugging this meat to stomach. See that meat laying on that stomach. You see that meat on the stomach. All right, that's how you hug your girl. You know what I'm saying? That meat to that stomach. All right. I want to see how you would hug one of the homies. If you see him, how do you hug him?
Jason, I go like this.
That's how you hug him?
Yeah.
Okay, does the man hand go,
I don't know.
does the man hand go right here? Is that proper?
I think it's on my shoulder.
It's like this.
I think it's just gonna go like that.
Okay, so that's the proper way then you should hug your husband's friend. So I always do like this. Like, you can do the lean in hug to the girl, like, cause you gotta keep, this leg has to go forward first. But the man, no. Let me tell you, this leg has to go first. It keeps you that space in between. You know, no, I'm saying if I did a front hug, I'm leaving that space. You know what I'm saying? How you doing, like that type shit? Because I don't want that meat on the stomach. That's a little odd. Or you can just go in for the side one like that.
Should be side.
Side. Those are the proper ways that you need to be addressing your husband or your husband's friends and your wife's friend. It should never be. If y'all hugging y'all homeboy's girl like this, you know what I'm saying? Y'all doing some shit like this and shaking, and that meat is up. Hey, come down, Richard. And that meat is on that stomach. Y'all disrespectful. Those are the proper ways to do hugging.
Yeah, that's foolishness, man. Pure foolishness. That self-checkout was talking about. And this is the type of stuff that a lot of men on the channel, a lot of men in space, they complain about. And you would think, if somebody told you this in real life, you would laugh in their face. You'd be like, bro, man, be quiet. You messing around. And then they'd be like, my homeboy don't believe me, man. He think I'm messing around. Yeah, I do think you messing around. Because I wouldn't think that, something like this, it would happen. I wouldn't think like something like this would. I think she not playing. She not serious, bro. She's just joking. Don't worry about it. That's what you would naturally think. She's not serious. For something like this to come up, she's not serious. But modern women be withholding stuff. I mean, it just comes down to modern women don't want to hold up their end of the bargain. They once again think that they're the only one doing something. They always want a man to do anything and everything. They've been watching too much TV. Oh, I'm not getting paid enough. I'm watching too much TikTok. I'm not getting paid enough for doing what I'm doing. This and that. If it is, yeah. I heard somebody on TikTok tell me, I should be charging them for this, and this. All right. Well, entrepreneur, let me tell you something. As a business owner, you're going to have to figure it out. So let me help you out. Like he said, let's come to some sort of solution. And if we can't, let's agree to go our separate ways. And we'll see how quickly, how fast you can figure out how to do this by yourself. Entrepreneur, y'all be pricing yourselves out of the market. Go sit down somewhere.